video. So what do we see over here? Well, we have got the accounting platform that you're using. In this case, it's Xero. If you decide that you want to update something in Xero and then get the information to be pulled through straight afterwards, hit sync, will pull through the most recent transactions and everything will update. If you're using Xero, we've also got the opportunity to show you any unreconciled bank transactions that are sitting within your account. So you'll be able to see those too, just to be able to go through and make sure that you're looking at the most up-to-date, accurate predictions. You can view things monthly. You can view them weekly from a Monday to Sunday or Sunday to Saturday perspective. This is the settings for your organization. So this is where we have already done some mappings. You can override them to the primary bank account that you've got for your business, your accounts receivable and payable, because Predict, as you know now, has got a full accounting engine powering it. It's not just about gross cash flow like most cash flow forecasting apps are. This is full profit and loss balance sheet and cash flow. So we need that information. And then if you're paying sales tax, this will be ticked. We support accruals and cash-based VAT, GST, sales tax schemes. This is your control account that, again, we've scanned your information and we've done a best guess to map this, but just double check that. You can change the frequency of your VAT or GST periods. This is where the default sales tax rate will be entered. So if you're in Australia, New Zealand, the US, you're not in the UK, it doesn't need to be 20%, but it could be 10, 15%, whatever you want. You can also override it. So if it was a 0 rated transaction, no problem at all. And then we ask you to, or we'll look for the end of your last VAT period or GST period. Josie was set up a little while ago. It was February was the end of her period. But whatever it is, when you're a new user, just think, right, okay, I'm in the middle of the period. The end of this period is whatever month. And then based upon your location's payment requirements, when do you need to pay or get rebates from your, specific government? UK 7 days after the 7 days into the next month after the period end, which is why we put 37 days. So if we then go to financials, you will see that all of that, those calculations for thousands of calculations are happening using the actual data within your cloud accounting package for your sales tax, as well as your predicted data. Predict's taking all of that information in, it's treating it just like your cloud accounting package would, and it's calculating your next payment date or rebate date, which you will see here in yellow. We've highlighted it yellow so that you've got that comfort as you're running your business to say, okay, can I afford it on that date? Now, we will also track the payments to your provider, your government provider. And if we haven't been able to track it, we will assume that it's going to be paid. If you're late in paying it, we're going to assume it's going to be paid every day. So that's going to move on, which is what's happened to Josie here. She hasn't actually paid her VAT yet, which is very bad. What else have we got? Well, we've got the ability to make accounts smaller. So if you want to get a much more zipped up view, you can do that by hitting the large rows or small rows. You've got reordering of accounts so that you can drag and drop accounts from each one of your account categories. If I go back to the profit and loss section, you'll see this in action a little bit smarter. So I'm going to make that a bit bigger again. And you'll see in this instance, we've created some groupings: staff costs, which has got these 3 accounts in, premises costs, which have got these accounts in. So if you hover over any one of those accounts, a little green cell will pop up and you can group whatever you want, hit that grouping button down there, give it a name. And then if you want to reorder it, in this case, we wanted to make sure that staff costs were at the top of the page. I hit the reorder button and I can do that as well. So on the expenses side, I can say, right, okay, I want the staff costs here, or I can drag and drop premises costs above it if I wanted to. So that's the reordering and grouping. You can see your decimals if you want to. And then the final thing is our Google Sheets functionality. So it comes in 2 forms. We've got Google Sheets Export, which is here. So if I hit this button, we can export the report. It will export in whichever time banding that you've set up. So if you want to view it monthly here, it'll export it monthly. If you want to change that to weekly, it'll export it weekly for you. Here's one I prepared earlier. So you'll see that the entire profit and loss balance sheet and cash flow, you've got 12 months worth of historicals here that have been created. You've got financial year totals, which if you expand them out, you can see the months or the periods that you've exported inside them. It will indicate whether things are actual or predicted at the top. And then just as one would expect, you've got your account categories, you've got your profitabilities being calculated, and all of these groupings are created for you automatically as part of the formatting. The other piece of functionality that we've got, and this is really for power users, is our G Sheets import function. And so I'm going to show you that as well. When you start off as a new account, you've got a 5-step process that you need to go through for us to create a master Google Sheets file that will be associated to your account. It will also populate your chart of accounts into that sheet. So this live hot link is then created. The data from the sheet that I'm about to show you was synced an hour ago, but again, I'm going to make a change, do it in real time, sync it. Hopefully the demo gods will keep me right, and we'll be able to see how this works in practice. So again, I am going to whiz across to our template. This is the master sheet. I've got 2 different templates from that screen that we're using, which I've copied into my master. And I'm going to show you the UK payroll version. We have an Australian one, New Zealand's on its way. And what you'll see is that you've got pretty neat way to be quite detailed on hiring new staff and playing with affordability of new staff before you hire them. So in this instance, we've got Ryan, we've got our department that we've decided that we want to call it. Set my start date. He hasn't got a leave date yet because he's a current employee. We've got the opportunity for annual, hourly, and daily staff. You would set up, if I changed that to daily, you'd then have, that this changes to per day. The system knows that. And I would then put, I don't know, £100 a day, for instance, in here for Ryan. The expected monthly commission, he's not got any annual bonus. You've got an employee expenses override. You've got, this is where then the account that you're, which type of payroll account you're looking at, you would choose. And then we've got pension options. We've got the ability to add in, hardware, fixed assets. Do I need to buy a new phone for them when they start? All of those settings for these things you will find up here. So we've got a checklist for initial use so that you don't, you get everything right. Payroll, if you've used payroll software, you'll know it's quite complicated. And so we've got full ticks here that everything's looking grand because all of the settings to power all of the calculations, the journal postings into multiple accounts are found here. Some of them, in the case of needed updating, you definitely need to map the correct accounts. So, go ahead and do that the first time that you're using it. All of those accounts from your accounts package will be pulled through. We've then got, the primary payroll or secondary payroll. So you might have 2 different payroll runs. We've tried to cater for everything with this. You've then got, because this is the UK, your HMRC payments, or it might be your BAS payments with superannuation if you're in Australia. And when are they paid? What's the period cadence? And how many days at the end of the period? So you only need to do this once. And then any changes you're just making to the staff area that I showed you first. How much do each of these things cost? Which cost accounts? So it's really straightforward. I think the best thing to do is go through and actually enter, one of your employees, and then you kind of work it back to figure out the best, what you want to pay for everything. These are the current thresholds for all of your payroll tables for your country, either UK or Australia right now. will be pre-filled for you. However, if it's changing, and sometimes it changes at the beginning of the new financial year, you can put in the new thresholds there. And so if you've got an employee who's staying with you past that threshold, all of those calculations will be updated for you without you needing to do anything. So again, it's really time saving. But again, you only need to, these will be pre-filled for you. You don't need to update them today. And then if I collapse that back down again, you've got, an overview of your headcount, starters, leavers, total salaries for each financial year, and then what you're paying, national insurance, PAYE in the UK, pensions and additional costs. You've got that overview. So we've changed Ryan. Now what I need to do is go back and have a look at Ryan for you. Where is he? Salaries. Here's Ryan. So we've got Ryan's salaries here is £2,916.67. But we know that we're going to change him. We've changed him to £100 a day instead, which is starting in September. Now, I don't know what that's going to spew out, but we're going to, should we make it massive just so that everybody can see it? Let's give him a £10,000 a day daily rate. So I'm going to go to the import tab, and I'm going to hit sync. And it's going to say, yeah, we're going to sync these two templates. There was an opportunity to, if you don't want to sync one of your members of staff, that's totally fine, but we're going to sync the predictions. It's doing its business, and it's already updated. So let's go and have a look, shall we? If we go to home and expenses and have a look at Ryan. Yeah, Ryan has got some serious salary going on now with his £10,000 a day salary. It's that quick. So for you to be able to create not only pinpoint accurate, i.e. payroll software, accuracy for your staff, you can also start playing with taking on, different staff members. When's the right time to do it? Is it this month? Is it next month? And so on and so forth. There are lots of different tables here that you can use. Invoice discounting, like I say, loan amortization. If you've got existing loans, we're going to know about those journals already, and we're going to be posting them to your interest and principal loan repayment account. But if you've got a brand new one that you're thinking of taking, get the template, work it out, pop it in, and see if you can actually afford it. So that's your kind of power overview. Please let us know if there's anything else that you need. Again, if you're not happy with any of our predictions, just toggle them off. You could create scenarios, different scenarios by going, well, if Rosie and Fred doesn't happen, am I all right? If the new weddings from the marketing activity that I'm doing doesn't come through, am I still okay? I probably will go and change that salary in a second again, so that the cash flow is not tanking here. But that's it. That's an overview of Predict. It really is. Running a predicted business is going to give you the opportunity to make the most robust decisions within the framework of your financial future. Hope you like it.